For the first time since returning to the White House, Donald Trump has directly confronted Europe's top leaders over Ukraine, warning that the war has entered what he calls its closest point ever to a decisive end. Behind closed doors, sources say Washington is frustrated with Europe's slow coordination and the refusal to consider rapid deal frameworks that could freeze the battlefield before winter. Trump says he raised Ukraine in strong terms with France, Germany, and the UK, signaling a major shift in US-European dynamics, and openly questioning why Europe still expects Washington to shoulder diplomatic heavy lifting.
The leaders of France, we spoke to, Germany, and UK, all very good leaders, very good friends of mine, and we discussed Ukraine in pretty strong words.
In a stark message, Trump insists the US is no longer bankrolling Ukraine's war effort, only selling weapons to NATO. The remark rattled European capitals already worried about Washington's shifting posture.
We're not spending any money in Ukraine. We're selling basically missiles and everything else to NATO, and NATO is paying us, and then they distribute it to who they want. I guess they're mostly distributing to Ukraine, but we're not spending money.
Trump then delivered his most alarming claim, that both sides lost a combined 27,000 troops in a single month, a figure meant to shock Europe into accepting his push for a rapid endgame.
Last month, 27,000 soldiers were killed. Both, think of it, 27,000. That's if you take a football game and take half the stadium, that's 27,000.
Despite the grim numbers, Trump insists the war is now closer than ever to resolution, but only if Europe aligns with Washington's terms. The message deepens fears inside Brussels that the US is preparing its own blueprint for ending the war, whether Europe likes it or not.
A lot of people say it's closer than it's ever been. It's a war that would have never started. If I were president, would have never started. It's a war that should never have started. But we'll have it figured out, I think, within a pretty short time.
Pressed to explain what strong terms meant, Trump hinted at disputes over individuals and commitments inside NATO. Multiple diplomats confirmed the White House demanded clarity before attending a high-level Europe meeting this weekend.
We had some little disputes about people, and we're going to see how it turns out. And we said before we go to a meeting, we want to know some things. You know, they would like us to go to a meeting over the weekend in Europe, and we'll make a determination depending on what they come back with. We don't want to be wasting time. Sometimes you have to let people fight it out, and sometimes you don't. But the problem with letting people fight it out is you're losing thousands of people a week. It's ridiculous.
With drone strikes intensifying across Ukraine and Russia, the split between Washington and Europe threatens to become a rupture. Trump's message is clear. The war must end fast. Europe, however, is still divided on how and on whose terms that end will come.